Naaman had leprosy. Naaman had leprosy. And so he was cured of his leprosy. And he wanted to give Elisha abundance as a reward for healing his leprosy, which is, you know, when you see people that's dark and they start looking at the palm of your hand, the bottom of your feet. You see people today, they call it vitiligo, which is leprosy. And when you look at 2 Kings 5 and verse 20, it says, "But Gehazi, the servant of Elisha, the man of the Most High, said, Behold, my master hath spared Naaman this Syrian, in not receiving at his hands that which he brought." See, he didn't want anything for the miracle that he done to Naaman in curing his leprosy. But as the Most High liveth, I will run after him and take somewhat of him. I'm gonna get what he didn't take. This he didn't want it. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. Let's look at verse 23. And Naaman said, "Be content, take 2 talents. And he urged him, and bound 2 talents of silver in 2 bags with 2 changes of garments, and laid them upon 2 of his servants, and they bare them before him. And when he came to the tower, he took them from their hand and bestowed them in the house. And he let the men go, and they departed." The men that was rolling with him. But he went in and stood before his master. And Elisha said to him, "It's the man of the Most High. Whence cometh thou? Where you coming from, Gehazi? Where you coming from, man?" And he said, "Thy servant went no whither." So I ain't going nowhere. I ain't come from nowhere. Lying. And he said to them, "Would not mine heart with thee? Didn't my mind go with you?" This is a man of the Most High. Elisha. He said, "Did my man?" Remember, Elisha got a double portion of Elijah, because Elijah told him, "If you see me going up, I'm going to give you a double portion of what I have." When the man turned again from his chariot to meet thee, he said, "You know I went with you." When the man turned from his chariot to meet thee, is it a time to receive money and to receive garments and olive yards and vineyards and sheep and oxen and men servants and maid servants? Listen, the leprosy therefore of Naaman shall cleave unto thee and unto thy seed forever. See that? So the seed of Gehazi is going to look like so-called white people. He said, "The leprosy therefore of Naaman shall cleave unto thee and unto thy seed forever." And he went out from his presence a leper. How'd he look? They like to call themselves this, as white as snow. See that? So that's why I say, and some people, they can get vitiligo, that's they call it today. We call it leprosy because it's from the Bible in Leviticus 13th chapter, okay? And they can be part of Gehazi's seed, his lineage, from the past, coming on this earth now. That's why I say you don't know. But the Spirit gonna bear witness with the Spirit, was not, you know, who they are. It's not hard to recognize. So they say the same thing. They're gonna say pretty much the same things over and over again, no matter where you go in the world. Believe me, in the world, it's the same programming that everyone has, saying the same thing, pretty much. 2 Chronicles 8 and 13. Just showing you that we were honoring the new one. 2 Chronicles 8 and 13. I'll start at verse 12. Then Solomon offered burnt offerings unto the Most High on the altar of the Most High, which he had built before the porch, even after a certain rate every day, offering according to the commandment of Moses on the Sabbath and on the new moons. So here it is again. On the Sabbath and on the new moons and on the solemn feasts, 3 times in a year, even in the feast of unleavened bread and in the feast of weeks and in the feast of tabernacles. Those 3 times all men are supposed to come together. That's the law. Most High is serious about that. Feast of unleavened bread, feast of weeks, which is the Pentecost, which is we see in Acts the 2nd chapter, and the feast of tabernacles, which is going to be coming up, I think, this 9th month or 10th month. When you go to shieldofwisdom.com, go to the bottom of the first page, the breaking news and all the holy days and the new moons will be there. Look at Ezra. Ezra is the 3rd chapter. And we're going to look at Ezra's 3 and 3. Well, I'll start at 1. And when the 7th month was come, and the children of Israel were in the cities, the people gathered themselves together as one man to Jerusalem. Then stood up Jeshua, the son of Zodadak, and his brethren the priests, and Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, and his brethren, and builded the altar of the Most High Power of Israel, to offer burnt offerings thereon, as it is written in the law of Moses, the man of the Most High. And they set the altar upon his bases, for fear was upon them because of the people of those countries. And they offered burnt offerings thereon unto the Most High, even burnt offerings morning and evening. Steady praying to the Most High. Offer these offerings to the Most High, morning and evening. They kept also the Feast of Tabernacles, as it is written, and offered the daily burnt offerings by number, according to the custom, as the duty of every day required. And afterward offered the continual burnt offering, both of the new moons, that's the 12 new moons of each year, and of all the set feasts of the Most High that were consecrated, and of every one that willingly offered a free will offering unto the Most High. For the first day of the 7th month, which is, began they to offer burnt offerings unto the Most High. But the foundation of the temple of the Most High was not yet laid. So the first day of the 7th month is the Feast of Trumpets. So it's the Feast of Trumpets and also the new moon feast, because it come on the first day of the 7th month. Every first day of a month is the new moon, plus it's the Feast of Trumpets. Nehemiah. I just want to, bring this out. Nehemiah 10 and 33, just to show you that we were doing this. For the showbread, and for the continual meat offering, and for the continual burnt offering of the Sabbaths, of the new moons, for the set feasts, and for the holy things, and for the sin offerings, to make an atonement for Israel, and for all the work of the house of our power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So you will still, as you see, honoring the new moons. Even in our captivity, we're still honoring the new moons. So go to Psalms 81 and 3 again. Psalms 81 and 3. Blow up the trumpet in the new moon, in the time appointed on our solemn feast day. See? For this was a statute for Israel. It's the first day of the month. But it was a statute for Israel and a law of the Most High power of Jacob. This he ordained in Joseph for a testimony when he went out through the land of Egypt, where I heard a language that I understood not. So that's something you can get of Egyptologists. Psalm 81 and 5. Most I say, you can hear their language. Not our power. Look, Isaiah the first chapter. Isaiah the first chapter. You know, this is just different dispensations of time as we're in captivity. Isaiah 1 and look at 13 and 14. Most I said, bring no more vain oblations. Incense is an abomination unto me. The new moons and Sabbaths, the calling of assemblies, I cannot away with. It is iniquity, even the solemn meeting. Your new moons and your appointed feasts, my soul hated. They are trouble unto me. I am weary to bear them. Why? Because we was not following this way. You know? Like people wicked, then they gonna come and do the things that they think is right. The Most High already know that you've been wicked. And here you come, that's why he said, get that away from me. I don't even want to deal with that. He said, other words, get out of my face. Wow. It's cold. And then I must bring you here because, well, let's go through, I'm gonna go through some more. Then you'll see that we're doing, then I'm gonna bring you to what people will use to say for an excuse of why they don't have to do it, and they'll use something in the New Testament. I'll show you that. Ezekiel 45, Ezekiel the 45th chapter, and the 17th verse. And it shall be the prince's part to give burnt offerings and meat offerings and drink offerings in the feasts and in the new moons and in the Sabbath, in all solemnities of the house of Israel. He shall prepare the sin offering and the meat offering and the burnt offering and the peace offerings to make reconciliation for the house of Israel. These are the things that we done. Ezekiel 46 and 1. Thus said the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the gate of the inner court that looketh toward the east shall be shut the 6 working days, but on the Sabbath it shall be open, and in the day of the new moon it shall be open. See? So you have the Sabbath, that's what we have. We have the Sabbath every 7th day, and we have the new moon on the first day, a special feast day that he allowed us to have, where people waiting on what they're waiting on now in this world. This is what? Well, they already had 4th of July, so what's next? Labor Day? I think it's Labor Day. Memorial Day, I think that come in the 5th month, the last of the 5th month. Labor Day. Then they're gonna have Thanksgiving. Then Christmas, you see? But you see the length of time between the time that they really come together to do something. In this world, that's why I say gotta be renewed. Your mind gotta be renewed. Where we can come together every first day and have a good time of our month. And have a feast and have a good time. But our people, I bet you they was trying to find somewhere somebody that was barbecuing on the 4th. See, they still doing firecrackers. Right as I said, they in the spirit. They still shooting off firecrackers and cherry bombs and so forth. I mean, that's the spirit right there, ain't it? But they go all out for Esau's wicked hella days, but what about ours? You know, first day of the month. And it's important because it's a law. So if you don't do it, it's amazing how when people, oh, the Most High know my heart. Come on now, don't say what Esau done programmed you to say. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people know. So now, at least observe and do what's right. Even if you're by yourself. There's no excuse. We got to observe this. That's why we're going over this. Verse 3. Ezekiel 46:3. Likewise, the people of the land shall worship at the door of this gate before the Most High in the Sabbath and in the new moons. See? That's what he's telling us. Verse 6. And in the day of the new moon, it shall be a young bullock without blemish, and 6 lambs and a ram. They shall be without blemish. He's letting us know this is what we did. And he shall prepare a meat offering, an ephah for a bullock, and an ephah for a ram, and for the lambs, according as his hand shall attain unto, and an hin of oil to an ephah. See, so these are the things that we done on the new moon. Look at Hosea. Go to the book of Hosea. Hosea, the 2nd chapter. And look at look at verse look at verse 9. Hosea 2:9. Therefore will I return and take away my corn in the time thereof, and my wine in the season thereof, and will recover my wool and my flax, given to cover her nakedness. Take away everything. Strip you down. And now will I discover her lewdness in the sight of her lovers, and none shall deliver her out of mine hand. I will also cause all her mirth to cease, her feast days, her new moons. See, there it is right there. Most I say he's going to stop us from honoring the feast days, the new moons, and her Sabbaths every 7th day, and all her solemn feasts. And I will destroy her vines and her fig trees, whereof she hath said, these are my rewards that my lovers have given me, and I will make them a forest, and the beasts of the field shall eat them. Most High say, hey, he's our power. What we do, we looking for something else. So the Most High punished us. Amos 8:5. Amos 8:5. We start at 4. Hear this, O ye that swallow up the needy, even to make the poor of the land to fail, saying, when will the new moon be gone? When is it going to be over? When is the new moon going to be over? That we may sell corn. So that you know that we're supposed to honor this as a holy day, Sabbath day. And the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small and the shekel great, and falsifying the balances by deceit. You know, meaning charging more than what it should be charged. Now, let's go to Colossians to